Hi, Scrubs. I hope you're well.
Hello, you awesome people.
Hello, Starfam.
And yay, we're back! Sorry for the little break. I can just say that it was basically me who needed a little break. Because I don't know why. I felt stressed. Not that it was so stressful, probably because of the situation going on in the world, my new job, and also that we were sort of off schedule when it came to planning, and I was just feeling like we have a week now to plan for our next episode, and I just felt like, no, I can't do this. So we took a little break, and now we're back. And also, if you hear something in the background, that is our fans, because it is very, very, very hot in both Sweden and UK at the moment. So now we got that off our chests, or at least I got that off my chest. We are going to today's topic, which I have been longing for ever since the first book came out in Sweden, and that was years ago now. But now more countries have the first book, or even more, I'm not really sure, but they have books. And we're going to be talking about Jorvik Calling, and we have the guest is like, you have no idea, she's so cool. But she is Helena Dahlgren, the author of the book. Welcome!
Welcome.
Thank you!
Welcome.
Yay!
Yay, thank you so much!
I just knew when we got the first book, I was like, we need to have you on the podcast, but we needed to wait for the books to come out in more languages, since we have a very variety of listeners, and they are not just Swedish.
Yeah, I remember you telling me the first time we met. That was like 2 years ago, and you were like, yeah, I have to join the podcast, and I've been longing for it ever since. So I'm so glad we finally got together.
Was that 2 years ago now?
It was, yeah, it was 2 years ago.
And so, but that is even more amazing because in Sweden we got the book 2 years ago, and now we are already have the third book, and now the rest of the world is getting the first book, and soon the second and third, hopefully.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I think the second one is called The Legend Awakens, and it's going to be out in English at least in September, early September. So yeah, pretty soon.
You're gonna love it.
Yeah. It's actually my favorite. So yeah.
Oh yeah, it's very, very good, and also very heartbreaking.
Yeah, I know.
But anyway, so first, for the people who just want to get to know you, how long have you been writing? A writer?
Well, that's the question, isn't it? You know, how long have I been writing versus how long have I been a writer? Because I have this theory that people who end up as writers, they are sort of born writers. I've always been writing. For as long as I can remember. I've been obsessed with, books and stories. And I think I was 5 when I wrote my first short story. It was a ghost story, actually. Very sort of creepy, gothic short story about a bird in a haunted castle. And it's kind of weird. I've been joking about it. That it sometimes feels like I've been writing the very same story ever since. But, with some variation.
Okay.
But yeah, basically, I've always been a writer, I think. But I was first published like 7 or 8 years ago. I think it was. Yeah.
What was your first book?
I started off writing short stories, horror short stories, and I think the first one was published by Bonniers, a Swedish publishing house, in 2013, something like that. Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Basically, almost as old as Star Stable, like, although that.
That's right. Yeah, I didn't realize.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, what inspired you to then start writing that early? Like, what made you feel like you wanted to write?
Well, I think that everyone has their own way of, expressing themselves in the world. Some people are really into sports, and, some people are very outgoing and they love talking and socializing. But for me, writing and reading have always sort of been my way of, making a mark in the world, and, it's always been such a massive part of my personality. So, like I said, I was 5 when I started writing my first story. So it's always been, for me, I think, a way of, letting things off my chest. And, I love the way I feel when I write. I can just look up and literally 4 hours have passed and I have no idea what has happened during those hours.
Aww.
But, I have the pages to prove for it. So yeah, it's a pretty magical thing.
And that is how us gamers feel. Suddenly,
I can imagine. Yeah. Do you also get like vaguely numb in all your limbs when you
you
attempt to stand up? Yeah.
Yeah.
aches everywhere, even
Yeah.
off. If anything. Well, what kind of books have you written except the Soul Riders books?
Well, like I said earlier, I started out in horror. So I've written a bunch of short stories, all about sort of ghouls and scary stuff and psychological horror and things like that. But I also, my first published book was actually a work of non-fiction about my relationship with horror. I wrote it when I was going through a divorce, like 6 or 7 years ago. And it was a way for me to sort of just go back to my origins as a reader, and also I'm a big fan of old horror films and 19th TV shows like Buffy the Vampire Slayer and X-Files and Twin Peaks. So it was basically a very cheap therapy lesson for me that ended up as a book. So that was my first. It's only available in Swedish, I'm afraid. And I've also done some fictional stuff, some non-Soul Rider stuff. Some for young adults and some for adults as well. So yeah, nice. But mainly within sort of fantasy, horror. I'm really into genre. So yeah,
cool. Yes, that's really. I like really have that range of both young adults to adults.
Yeah. And sometimes a lot of my books I think appeal to both young adults and older people as well. I hope so anyway.
Oh yeah, we're gonna go through that later on. Do you have any social media where people can follow you?
Yeah, I do. I've got an English Instagram. It's called Helena Dahlgren Official. Just one word. Yeah.
And you can probably find it in the description down below if I know TC right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. And we have started, and well, it's been a month or 2 months. I'm not sure. Time is weird for me, but personal update of both May and June. So that is basically how it's gonna be when it comes to later on with the update and everything. We're gonna take both May and June. So what have people been up to in both May and June? Cece, what have you been up to?
May was. It's kind of funny. It's not that long ago, but it kind of feels like it. Yeah. I had my birthday. So,
Happy birthday!
Yeah. Thank you. So, I turned 27, so I had like a little midlife crisis with the crazy situation the world is in, and So, and I've been really stressed as well, so the break has been good for me too. Because my work contract has ended, and due to Corona and everything, I couldn't get prolonging on that contract. So actually today is my last day. So tomorrow I'm gonna be unemployed and be like, not fun at all in this situation.
No,
but,
it's not.
Thank you. So I'm keeping my fingers and toes crossed that my job applications or my applications for studies, that something will just land.
Yes, of course.
So I'm sorry, that was not very positive.
No. That is how it is now. For a lot of people, you're not alone, really.
It's not fun.
No, of course not.
But on another note, Starship has been really like, one good thing that's really kept me going. And one thing is my riding club I'm a member of, the Earth Supernovas. I've actually become a riding instructor for that club. So this fall I will start holding events like riding lessons and stuff like that. I'm excited for that.
I was your mentor.
I know. Yeah, you were my mentor, so yeah.
I'll
keep the legs going.
That's great.
Yeah.
So happy for you. Okay, and TC, what have you been doing in all this hot weather?
Sort of similar with Stacey. I don't know what my job situation is going to be. And it's annoying because I'm not going to know for a little while. But it means that by the time I know, that'll be the worst time probably to try and find anything new. So that's a bit annoying, but there's not really I can do about it. But I don't know what possessed me, but I just took into trying, like, I think it was like last month, or maybe just the end of April. I think it was May. I started to plant a couple of things, because I was like, I have nothing else to do. I might as well try and grow some vegetables. And
cool. That's lovely.
I started out, like, with a few things. And I'm just gonna say now, I have, like, 20 different varieties of things. They're not all in the ground yet, by the way. I think I still have, like, 9 different things to actually plant. But the garden's just kind of been demolished. It's like, it looks like a building site. With some things growing and other bits that just haven't been done yet. I've taken down our old greenhouse, because our old greenhouse was like, a tree had grown through it, and it kind of got warped and twisted, and some of the glass had broken, so it was safer coming down.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, no, don't use.
Yeah. So it came down yesterday, and now we just need to take the foundations that are there out, and then once we have that done, then I should be able to fill that in, and then get the last of the things I have to go in, because now what I'm going to be planting is going to be, like, I suppose more winter vegetables, a lot of root veg and things like that. So I've got pumpkins, 3 different kinds of courgettes growing, I've got 2 different kinds of peas growing at the minute, I have Swiss chard and aubergines, and I have carrots. And then I have, like, as I said, I have, like, a bunch more things to go. But it started off just like, I'm going to plant a few things, and now I'm like, I've really overdone this. It's getting a little bit unmanageable. That's
impressive.
Yeah. So we're waiting to see for when I manage to kill everything, because that's an inevitability.
Progression.
Yeah, so it's been nice actually seeing everything kind of going from seed to, like, big plants. Like, obviously I haven't actually got anything yet that I can eat, but I technically could eat the pea shoots, but other than that, it's just all sort of making progress with it. And then in regards to Star Stable, been doing a couple of the new things and trying to catch up with training horses. So that's really been it.
Yeah, I'm just so surprised that you're planting stuff.
I am too. It started off like, it wasn't even me who bought the original packet of seeds.
Okay.
It was one of my other family members, and then they put a couple out, and then I was like, I'm gonna do this too, and I've just gone over the top.
Yep. But, well, something happened.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Well, me, I have been working. Still thankful to Star Stable that they picked me up when I lost my job, so it's mostly thanks for them that I'm working. But I've actually had a little tiny week of vacation now, as we're recording, that is ending. But otherwise, I've been working Monday to Friday, even some red days, and I've been playing games. And also, I've been updating my little gaming setup with the money that I got. So I have a new awesome chair and a new desk.
Nice.
So, very happy. And I decided to get the new desk on the hottest day of the year here. Which was yesterday. Yes. And as I was like just taking everything down from my old, like taking down the screens and everything, putting on my bed and taking down the old table, I was like, why did I have to do it today? I'm too late to say no. But I'm happy with it, so I'm happy that I did it. Even though it's hot. So yeah, that's basically been it. Like, you don't really do much. I've been playing a lot of World of Warcraft still, and when it comes to Star Stable, the club has gone on summer vacation, so no events going on there. So I'm basically mostly in one doing the soul writing and the Pharaoh's workshop now, which is awesome. Yeah. Or logging in to check some work stuff, like checking stuff like, why isn't this working, or is this working, or what is going on? That happens too. Okay. And Helena, what have you been up to in May and June?
Well, surprise, surprise! I've been writing quite a bit, actually. I've been doing something really, really fun. I mentioned earlier how much I love ghost stories, and ta-da! I'm actually writing a series of ghost stories about the Soul Riders.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah, they will be out for Halloween in Swedish. So I've been busy sort of writing and editing those, and also doing some other bits and pieces. And actually planning a new trilogy that I'll start writing after my vacation.
Cool.
Yeah, so busy. And yeah, speaking of vacation, mine starts now for 4 weeks. It's actually my first summer vacation at all since I sort of became involved with Star Stable and Soul Riders, because I've been writing the books through the summer, basically. And like you said earlier, Rose, we got 3 books in like a year and a half. So the girl's gonna need some holiday.
Of course, you totally deserve it. Like, it's Swedish.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, and also speaking of coronavirus, I think I got it in April because I was really sick. I had a really high fever for like 2 weeks, and I was so weak I couldn't really get up from my bed. So wow. I mean, hopefully I've had it. So
that was that.
but it really sort of screwed up my whole work schedule for spring, because when I couldn't write anything for the full 2 weeks. So I think it's been a really weird spring for all of us, but I'm happy about summer and taking some time off and reading some books, watching some Netflix, doing some swimming.
I'm glad you're healthy and safe now, at least.
Thank you. So am I.
Okay, then let's get to it. I decided to basically let's start it like this. Let's go to the topic with the books. We asked you, listeners, about questions, and we received so many great questions that we decided that we will start with interviewing our guest, and at the end of this topic, we're going to do like a minor discussion of the book you're recalling, which is sort of like a little book club me, TC, and Cece's gonna have. But we all thank you all for the questions. They were all so good, but sadly we could not take all of them. There were a lot of good ones, and we just couldn't sit here for hours. But hopefully we took the ones that is sort of sums up. Some are maybe like sort of rewritten to bring in more questions into one. I'm not sure. With this warning, there will be spoilers mentioned in this episode from the first book. So if you do not want to hear anything from the books, you probably should not listen to this episode until you have read the book. Before we start, let us just present the books a little. The main trilogy is the Soul Riders books, the first book being Your Recalling, which has been released in multiple languages. I'm not sure of the number right now. Do you know, Helena?
So I think it's like 6 or 7.
6 or 7 books. Wow.
Yeah.
The books are basically the new origin story of Star Stable Online. It used to be Starshine Legacy Games that came out with Pollux years and years ago. However, they were never made to be a continuation, and they lacked the depth, and that was needed to really give the Soul Riders and Jorvik more life in the game that we play today. So that is basically why we have this first trilogy, and since it went so good, that is why we are getting even more books. And who is complaining?
Me.
Not me. So, let's start with the interview. And it's basically you're gonna get so tired of me, listeners, because it's just gonna be me and Helena right now. Or of course, TC and CC is gonna jump in if they have any follow-up questions.
They can never get tired of us, Rose.
In every episode, I always apologize for myself. I'm like, you're so tired of me. Anyway, so let's start. Did you get into contact with Star Stable Entertainment and ask to write the books?
Well, long story short, I got an email from one of the creators of Star Stable, a guy who was actually involved in way back in, I think, 2012 when Starshine Legacy came out. He wrote and designed that game. I was sort of vaguely aware of him because he's married to one of my friends who we used to have a book blog together. So contact's always a good thing. Anyway, I remember this day. He emailed me, I think mid-September 4 years ago, asking me if I was interested in writing books based on this game. And I think I said yes after a whole 2 seconds or something. But at the time, I have to say, I was only vaguely aware of Star Stable Online. I mean, I knew that there was this horse game and it was popular, but I didn't realize quite how popular. And I think that was a good thing, because had I known, there would have been so much more nerves involved. So I sort of came into it blind, and then I started to see.
So it already happened back in 2012.
Yeah.
When Star Stable Online came out.
Oh, sorry?
Star Stable Online came out 2012, and you were already contacted then.
No, 2016. I was contacted. So 4 years after. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that makes more sense. I was like, wait, what?
No. And I think I'm really bad with dates, but I think that Starshine Legacy was actually even before, wasn't it? It was like 2005. Yeah.
Long ago. Yeah. 2005 is actually a good year. I think that is. Yeah, it's probably that year. Thinking about it. So good.
Yeah, so that's actually how it happened. I was actually asked, which is a wonderful thing. I mean, it doesn't really happen that often, but it happened to me, and I'm very happy.
Awesome. Okay. Could you give us a quick recap of how the process sort of looks when you write a book to it finally being in store?
Well, that's the long journey, let me tell you. Well, I usually start off by doing like a rough outline of the plot, just the basic plot lines and different scenes and important characters. I love making lists, so I usually have like individual lists for all the characters. I did that for the Soul Riders. I had like, you Swedish guys, so you probably remember those books called Mina Vänner, my friends' books, where you had to sort of fill in your favorite colors, your favorite artists. Yeah, so that's basically what I did with the 4 Soul Riders, just to get to know them. And I also played the game quite badly, I'm afraid. I watched a ton of YouTube videos. I got like a big epic book filled with maps and information about all different characters and just basically everything you need to know about Jorvik. And I was a bit flabbergasted actually, because I didn't quite realize how big a universe it was. So that's how I started off with the first book. But obviously now I know Jorvik and the characters, so I don't really need to study that hard. But with the first book, certainly I had to sort of go back to school and become fluent in all things Jorvik. But first I do the sort of rough outline, and then with the first books I had a lot of help actually from Marcus Björking, who was the guy who invited me along, one of the co-founders and creators of Star Stable Online and also Starshine Legacy. So we just sort of wrote tons and tons of emails to each other, just throwing ideas around in the air, and some of them were discarded and some of them were kept on, and then I started writing, and for me typically it takes me about 3 months to finish the first draft of a book, and 2 or 3 months, so I'm pretty quick. But then comes sort of like the big part, when my publisher and also my editor, they read, they give me feedback, and after that I do at least a few editing rounds, just making sure that everything is in order. Oh my god, there's so much work, you guys, you have no idea. And also I have this constant dialogue with people involved with Star Stable as well, like the narrative director, just making sure that I sort of stay. I mean, obviously, I've been given pretty free hands, I think, with the books. But there are some elements that have to be there. I can't just say that, oh, well, Lisa was a tall blonde who hated playing the guitar. That wouldn't really gel, would it?
Would be very interesting for the game developers. Go like,
oh, yeah. Oh, by the way, I changed Lisa's appearance. So, so I have to say that I was pretty afraid actually coming into writing the first book, because I'm a major fangirl myself. When it comes to maybe not games as much as TV shows and books, and but I'm definitely not a stranger to fandom. So I've been really sort of in awe of you guys and all the fans, and just I know how important it is to you. So that's definitely something that I always think about when I write. But after the editing rounds, we have the copy editing, we have the proofreading, and then it's up to the printers. So I would say that, from the very first draft to the actual finished book, typically takes me 6 or 7 months.
So that does explain all the books.
I'm pretty quick.
Yeah, it's so interesting. Sometimes you feel like when you found an author that you really like and you read one book and you go like, okay, when is the next book coming? You have to wait like almost a year or even 2 weeks to get a new book.
Yeah, or maybe a decade. And one of my favorite authors is Donna Tartt, who wrote The Secret History. She comes out with a new book every decade.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot of, what is it called when you can't write? In Swedish.
Writer's block.
Yeah, writer's block. That's a long writer's block.
Definitely, yeah. Or a long holiday, maybe. I don't know.
Very long holiday.
Yeah.
Okay. Who then came up with the new origin story that are now this trilogy?
Well, it was really a collaboration between me and Marcus Torell Björking, who I mentioned earlier, and my editors. And as you know, all you diehard fans will know, the trilogy is loosely based on the Starshine legacy. Yes. We've definitely changed a lot of the story because you know some of the things that look cool in a game from 2005 doesn't really work, you know, when it's in a book. So you're probably going to recognize some of the major, you know, obviously Lisa moves to Jorvik, she meets Starshine, she meets the other girls. Weird things start happening in Jorvik, Dark Core involved. So a lot of the things are there, but but I think the tone is very different from the game, and it was really important for me to really try to make it as literary as possible because you know whenever someone writes a book based on a game, I'm not sure that's been done that many times before, but I know that you know when you write books based on television, there are always people who are going to discourage that and think that you know it's not real fiction. So for me, it was super important to spend a lot of time on you know things like what language and pacing and tone and but it really is a team effort. Takes a village to write a book.
Of course. Okay. Was it hard to write a story that was based on something that already existed, like Jorvik? The characters and certain structures you could not change, develop as you liked. You based on this before, but but you know, like I said earlier, I come from fandom. Before I wrote the Solo Brothers books, I'd actually already written one short story based on. Do you guys know H.P. Lovecraft? He was a horror writer from the early 20th century. Basically, I won a writing competition back in. It must have been like 15 years ago, where the idea was that you wrote a short story based on the Cthulhu mythos that he sort of created, and I won that. I won that competition. So I think in many ways that was like the starting point of my writing career. So I'd done that, and I'd also actually written a novel inspired by one of my all-time favorite TV shows, Twin Peaks, from the early 90s. So you know the concept of you know taking a pre-existing world and making it my own wasn't really new to me, and I quite like that. It might sound weird, but there's actually a bit of freedom in that because you know you have the basic outline, but then you have to sort of breathe air and life into it. So I love it. I think it's really have to start from scratch, like
exactly. So I find it very inspiring.
Well, I mean, fan fiction.
Fan fiction. Yeah, don't we love fan fiction?
It's basically fan fiction, but even cooler.
Yeah, exactly. It's like elevated fan fiction.
Very elevated.
Yeah.
Where did you find your inspiration when you wrote the book?
Oh, well, loads of places, really. But I would have to say the main inspiration really came from myself because growing up, horses were such a major part of my life. I was enrolled in a riding academy, not a Star Stable riding academy, but an actual physical one for, I think, 15 years when I was a kid and teenager. And I wrote all these short stories and poems about my favorite horses. And when I wrote the first chapters about Lisa meeting Starshine and, you know, the connection between them, I was definitely, you know, just going back to my own encounters with horses when I was her age. So, a lot of it is actually pretty autobiographical.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Which of the Soul Riders can you most relate to? How and why? Was it also the same one who was the most fun to develop?
Interesting. I think the Soul Rider that I relate the most to, at least in one level, is Linda. Surprise, surprise, because we both love books so much. So I think on the surface, I'm most like Linda, but I think the character that actually has the most Helena Dahlgren in her is actually Lisa. Because we're both sort of sensitive and artistic, and we both suffer from panic attacks, and we tend to mentally go to dark places sometimes. So, I mean, the first book, at least in the beginning, is very much Lisa's book, because, you know, it's through her eyes that we discover the island of Jorvik and all the different characters and stuff. So I think it's safe to say that some of the bits are actually autobiographical, and also with her mourning her mother. Luckily, my mother's still alive, but I lost both of my grandparents when I was her age. So I do recall, you know, that sense of grief and loss, and so a mix of Linda and Lisa, I would say.
Yeah. Okay, and was it the same ones that was the most fun to develop, or was it some other character?
Oh, you know, all the characters, I have to say, were massively fun to develop, but if I have to pick one, it would probably be Alex. Alex is always such a hoot to write. I love writing about Alex, you know, because she's so full of life, and, you know, she's always got a great comeback for things, and, you know, unlike me, who's very much a coward, Alex, she just doesn't back down. She's the coolest people I know, one of the coolest people I know. So, Alex is always great to write about.
That's true.
Yeah, love Alex.
Do you have a character that was the most fun to write about?
Yeah, I think Alex.
Yeah, Alex
as well. Yeah. Okay. Alex / all of them. Sorry, rubbish answer.
No, I noticed that it went into each other, so oh well.
Yeah.
Which character in Star Stable Universe do you find the most challenging to write?
You know, I would have to say Mr. Sands, just because he's so evil, you know. He's just basically darkness incarnated, and it's hard to write about someone who's just evil. So I remember I was being such a pest to Marcus, you know, emailing him saying, can't he, you know, just have a soft spot for something? I can't write about someone who's completely evil. It was like, no, he's evil. But then, actually, in the second book, I did get to create a backstory for him that explains some of the motives for the things he's done leading up to, you know, the horrific person that he is today. But I think Mr. Sands, and also, at least in the beginning, the Dark Riders, for the same reason, because they're so clearly, you know, the antagonists. Yeah. So it's really hard to sort of write a nuanced portrait of someone who's depicted as evil.
Yeah. No,
but I'm definitely going to try to sort of alter that a bit in the upcoming books.
That is actually interesting.
Sorry, go ahead, Rose.
No, I maybe you're going to ask the same question as I was, because I did not add this one, but we had one question regarding the Dark Generals. Are they gonna get backstories as well?
Yeah, definitely.
Yay!
They are,
awesome.
Yeah.
Yes. Was that the same question, TC?
I remember a part in the story, whenever I was playing through the game, where there's a moment where he kind of shows a little bit of mercy towards Justin.
Yeah,
like he wants Justin to leave.
Oh, yeah.
So that is the only time that I can think of a time where he seemed to show any kind of empathy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a very good reason for him to show empathy towards Justin as well, without spoiling too much.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that is, of course, something that happened, like, after the books. Like, that is pretty long time. So these books are, like, before.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a prequel. The first books,
Before we came to Jorvik, he was just evil.
Yeah.
Exactly,
So evil. Okay. So this question is going to be very interesting. A few readers wonder about Alex's sexuality.
Ooh,
have you had this in mind as well when you developed the characters?
Well, you know, I consider myself a part of the LGBTQ community. So for me, diversity is super important. And I don't think, it's never been publicly addressed, or I don't think it's canon or anything. But, you know, when I write about 4 teenage girls, I'm not going to write them all for straight, you know. That's just not going to happen. So, I mean, obviously, the core element in the Soul Riders books, so far anyway, has been friendship.
Yes.
So, issues like sexuality may not be addressed directly.
No.
But, I mean, when it comes to Alex, I've seen the Alaya posts, and I'm aware of the Alex and Maya shipping, and I totally endorse it. It's so cute. I love it. I love it. So, so I'm a big fan of Alaya. As well. So, did that answer your question? That it hasn't really been publicly addressed, but it's definitely something that I'm super aware of, and I think also the beautiful thing about reading and playing and immersing yourself in fiction is this wonderful ability that you have as a player, as a reader, to sort of read everything you want into a character. So if someone sees Alex and sees her as gay or bi or whatever, then that's definitely the case.
Yeah, I like it. I was thinking the same thing. I do remember as I was reading the third book, I came to a moment I was like, Alex might be gay. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, was that the chapter in the stable when they were talking about relationships?
Not sure. Or whether they're on a bus. It's all, I'm like...
Oh, because there is a moment where I sort of did vaguely hint towards the possibility of her not being straight. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Like that. So, that was a very good answer to this question.
Oh, thank you.
What was the hardest scene to write about in your recalling?
Do you know, it was definitely... it's okay to talk about spoilers, yeah? Yeah. So it was definitely the kidnapping scene in chapter 14. I think I must have rewritten that one like a dozen times. And I think it sort of boils down to the same thing I was talking about earlier, about, depicting evil. I struggled with Mr. Sands, and I struggled even more, I think, with the DC goons, and sort of trying to write about them in a way that didn't seem, cliched or, just plain weird. So, I wrote it and I rewrote it and I rewrote it. But then I think I ended up with a sort of simple scenario that made the most sense. But I think just in general, what I love to write about is, the relationship between the girls and the horses. And I love writing about the nature. But when it comes to those really sort of big, epic, sort of, whoa, this is a big action scene, that's a bit more challenging for me, because I don't really consider myself an action writer. I'm more of a sort of relationship and language-driven writer. So, but I'm definitely getting better at it, I think. The second one is full of adventure, and I had a lot of fun writing that one. So,
Oh, wow. I have to say, it's quite interesting that you say that you have a hard time writing about evil when you started as a horror.
But horror. It's interesting. I wouldn't say that horror has anything to do with evil at all. I think it has to do with more sort of like the. I like the psychological ones, like The Others and Hitchcock and David Lynch and stuff. So, for me, I think horror is more about the psychology of the mind and not knowing who you are and
always a reason, so to speak.
Exactly.
Yeah, I can get that. Yeah. If you could have one of the Soul Riders' horses for one day, which one would you choose?
Oh, well, I used to love jumping when I was riding back in the day, so I'm going to go with Meteor.
I knew you would pick him.
Yeah. He's actually my favorite, and he seems like such a sweetheart as well. He has like an old soul, and he's very cuddly, and he loves food like I do. So we both like jumping and eating, so we get along splendidly.
I actually have to ask this question to TCC as well, because I think this is fun, and we never really talked about this. Cece, which one would you choose?
I think I would choose Meteor as well. He's just too cute.
Yeah, well, of course. He's a horse as well, so why did I even ask? I never learn. But he's very sweet. Easy, which one would you choose?
I don't know. That's such a hard question. I've never really thought about it.
Here I am, just throwing it at you. Give me an answer.
I'm trying to think. Like, what I'm trying to think if I would prefer someone reliable or I would prefer a cheeky pony or whatever.
Tin can,
So
yeah.
it's kind of but then I like dressage.
Concord, yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like I might verge for Concord.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm saying the same thing. I would totally go for Concord. He's a beauty. I love Concord. But Meteor as well is so sweet.
Yeah. And I love Tin Can too. Yeah, Tin Can is wonderful to write about. He's always up to something.
Yeah, Oh. Okay, and then the last question. Can you say if there are plans to release the book in more languages than we already have?
Well, during the spring, this weird spring, there have been new editions coming out like pretty much every week. So, it's out in Poland, it's out in Denmark, it's out in... if I remember correctly, it's currently out in English, Polish, Swedish, obviously, Dutch, Finnish, Danish, Norwegian, I think, and German is actually the next language. I think the first book will be out in German early September. After that, I'm not sure, but I do know that it's definitely on the way. So I think we'll see more translations within the next year or so, hopefully. I would personally love to be translated into French because I think it's such a beautiful language, and I know that there's a pretty big community in France as well. Yeah. So that would be cool.
But German is the biggest, so they're going to be happy.
Yeah, I'm actually really happy about Germany because it's such a big country. I mean, it's like 90 million people, and also German readers tend to like Swedish books. So
cool.
Yeah, so keep my fingers crossed about Germany. That would be really cool. I've got a friend there as well, one of my oldest friends. We met in Oxford when we were just babies, really, like 15, 16, going there. That's actually why Linda's parents moved to Oxford, and why Linda has this poster of Oxford on her bedroom wall is because I went to Oxford when I was 15 or 16, and I met my best friend there, so I really love that place. Yeah.
Cool. And you can actually see the posters in the games. I go to Linda's house.
So cool. That was like a fangirl moment for me, just seeing that, oh my god, I wrote about it, and then it ended up in the game. That was so cool. Yay!
So that was basically the last question. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much. It was amazing.
But let's sum up that you are working on horror stories in Swedish.
Yes. I'd have to say what it is. Yeah, they'll be out in October, I think, in Swedish. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that. And also you are in the plans of a new trilogy.
That's right, yeah. And it's going to take place, I think, roughly a year after the events depicted in the first book. So, yeah, we're slowly but surely sort of moving towards Star Stable Online time.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Yay! It's going to be so much fun. But thank you so much for joining us, Helena.
Thank you so much for having me, and thank you for all the great questions.
So glad you have to come back in because we are going to move on to our book. Discussion, so I hope you're gonna listen to it later on so you can hear what
I definitely will. Yeah. Yay. Speak to you later.
Yes,
thank you.
Have a great weekend. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, so we're moving on to our book club thingy. So I'm so excited because and then again TC just read it and she hasn't really finished it, but
I have a teeny bit left to finish.
Yes, and then we have me and Cici who hasn't read it for 2 years.
No, I read it like yesterday.
You read it again?
Yeah, I read it like 4 times.
Oh my goodness! What would you?
Well, it's a good book.
It's a very good book.
Yeah, and my memory is really bad, so I just need to read it a few times. So.
Okay.
Yeah. So I wanted to read it, close to when we were doing this because I thought otherwise my brain because. I don't know. I forget.
Yeah. That's why I read it this week.
Yeah.
Now I feel horrible because I'm like, I just flipped through it and I was like, I think I remember. It's gonna be great. Not gonna try and mix it all the other 2 books in. Okay, but the first question: what did you think of the first book? Then let's start with Cici.
It was really amazing, and the first time I read it, it was kind of surreal because. The old Stars and Legacy games that was so long ago, and for those games to start this whole journey into becoming Star Stable Online and now these books, it was like, wow, this is so cool. So when I held it in my hand the first time and started reading it, it was very emotional.
Yeah.
That kind of like your childhood, like, just continued and followed you into being an adult, and it just keeps on going, and it's just so cool. And the book, it's it is a familiar yet a whole new world. That it's loosely based on the Star Trek Legacy games, but there's a whole lot of new content, and the characters are developed and have way more depth into them. So there's a lot of feelings mixed in. So like familiarity, nostalgia, and then there's excitement over all the brand new details and the possibility of the future and everything. So yeah, I love the first book.
I have to say, I agree that there were a lot of feelings. We have been waiting for quite a while when we heard that you were coming a book. And we were also at the event, at the release party, and we got to meet Helena. It was just a big event for us here in Sweden when it finally came out. I remember I actually felt bad for the rest of the community who did not speak Swedish. Like, it will come someday.
Totally.
Okay, but what did I think of the books in general? I was just thinking about that it was going to be a book, and knowing the community and the age group that Star Stable are focused on, even though it is a very big variety, I was a little like, is it gonna be too childish? For me, who was then 24, 25 when we got the book. But I was so surprised because I was at the same time studying the communication, focusing on linguistic Swedish. So I was very into like the language in this book when it came to Swedish, and I was just so amazed by how beautifully written it was. And how I did not feel like I am too old for this book.
I agree.
It's just really, really good. And I can tell you that even, I think it is in this book, there even a part I'm going to talk about later, where I was like, this is definitely not too old for me. Or too young for me. So yeah, I was basically mostly thinking of that. And I want to tell everyone who's listening, if that you're thinking if you're too old for this book, no, you're not. Just pick that book up and read it, because you are not gonna regret it. Because it's just beautifully written. You get a much deeper sense to the characters, to our soul riders, and Jorvik in general. Like, after I read this book, I went on like a tour in Jarlaheim.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, but TC, what did you think of the first book?
I thought it was very easy to read. Because I think sometimes there's been books that I've picked up in the past where it's a lot of work sometimes to read and get an understanding of the characters quite quickly. But I think she did it very well in the sense that, like, the thing that happens, I think, and it is that problem sometimes, you'll love a book series and then it'll become a TV or a movie and they'll just ruin it. And obviously this is a game being written into a book. And I thought it was done really well, but it's still a book in its own right. And that's what the sense that I got from it. I didn't feel that it had lost any of its true roots, but it had built upon them, but it was still an entity in its own right. So I thought that was done very, very well. I found it very easy to read. Like, I was able to, get a good understanding of characters quite quickly.
Situation.
And it isn't, because I think sometimes some authors can be maybe too wordy whenever they're trying to write a character, whereas I didn't get that. I felt like it was a natural build. Quite a lot of it. So, no, I thought it was very nice. Like, obviously I've only read the first book because that's the only one in English. And I still have just those last few chapters to finish, but Yeah, no, I thought it was very good.
Yeah.
And as you say, I think that the way it's written is just right. I think an older, a younger person, anyone could lift it and read it and enjoy it.
Yeah. Definitely, even a book, if you have younger people that find this book too massive, it would still be good, like, if you have, like, a good night story, like, if you're putting your kid to bed and read this book to them. I think it's still that good of a book that they will understand if you read to them.
Yeah, it's like the way the chapters are done, they're not sort of nice, succinct chapters.
Yes.
Which I liked as well. So, yeah you're not going to be sitting there reading 200 pages of one chapter.
No.
It's a couple of pages per chapter, depending. Some chapters are slightly longer than others, but
yes, of course. But yeah, it feels, reading this, it feels just, you just go through it. And me, when it comes to book, I wish I could say that, I read a book every day, but I have a hard time reading. And I think it's because when I was younger, someone told me that, you're too slow when you read. So I have that constantly in my mind that I am a slow reader. So I can sometimes have a hard time enjoying just a book when I'm too slow, because then I have this bad patience in myself, like, I'm too slow.
You take as much time as you want to read.
I wish, but this book does help, because it pulls me in, and I can sit and read chapter after chapter. And also the chapters, since they are, I think maybe that is the case also, since the chapters aren't too long, it gives me a feeling of progression.
Yeah, so I think that's the other thing as well. For anybody that maybe doesn't like reading that much, I think it's a nice book in that way.
Yes.
I mean, I am the sort of person, like, I remember when the Harry Potter books came out, one of the biggest books, it was, I don't remember which, it was one of the later ones, it was just like a doorstop, it was that big. I sat for like 72 hours and read it straight. I can't do that. I will say that it's not something I advise doing. It's not good for you, but I can get very, very engrossed in a book. I used to read a lot. I don't really read so much now. I'll be really honest. I don't. So that was kind of nice actually, because I didn't know what to expect when I picked it up, but I did find it very easy to go through.
There is like an other aspect, because I'm not much more now for listening to books. But when it comes to these, I want to read them. Like, I want to hold the book in my hand. It's that thing of just holding this book. It feels amazing. But I don't know who is the voice for English and so on, but for Swedish, it's Matilda.
Yeah, and she has the cutest accent.
This is the Skåne accent.
Yeah, Skåne, the south of Sweden.
Yeah. And she's still, you can understand her in a way, that's kind of accent.
Yeah, she reads it very well. A lot of emotion.
She's so cozy. So yeah, I think that is also a thing that you can, of course, find it as a the sound
audiobook.
Audiobook, that's the word. Audiobook, but I sometimes buy the book because it's a feeling of us holding and also seeing the covers are beautiful.
Yeah,
and the
it's
map.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
I would like, even if you don't read it, buy it. Buy it, at least the map.
Because the map is so pretty.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But I do think people should read it. I really do.
Definitely. Go and pick it up. If you can read English, go and pick it up for English. Or if you want to wait until, if you think it might come in your language, keep praying. And I will pray with you.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Okay, which soul writer did you get a better connection to after reading the first book? TC.
For me, I actually really liked learning more about Anne. I mean, I know that the book is from the perspective of Lisa, and it is nice to get to know Lisa a little better, because I feel like the two characters that I've always known quite well in the game would be Alex and Linda.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I liked learning about Anne because obviously we spend so much of the game. She's not there.
Yeah.
We don't know really that much about her, and the only thing I did know was the stuff from the original Starshine games. So I actually really liked that aspect. Just learning a little bit more about her and how awkward she was, and she doesn't really. I guess she feels a lot of pressure and things like that. I just find that very interesting. In that regard. So that's. I would say I got a better connection to Lisa, I suppose, because we learned so much because we're seeing it from her eyes.
Yeah.
But I find it quite interesting learning a little bit about Anne.
Yeah, totally. Totally understand that. As I'm now sitting here and thinking that it was based on Lisa, mostly in this book, and I'm thinking about Lisa, I'm like, I don't know why she and I just don't click. And it might be because I read like the 2 other books now, and she's of course very interesting, and she's very kind, and I understand all her decisions.
Yeah,
but I can be like, Lisa, please. No. For me, it is Alex. Alex. Wow. I do have on my laptop, I have a sticker of Linda, because I do love Linda. I do love her nerdiness. I feel very close to her because of her nerdiness and how she's just calm and collected. I want to see myself as her, but as I've been reading the books and know more of Alex, of course, now, but also from just this, as we got to know Alex a bit more, I really like how she come off as very brave, and very like outspoken as I am. I can be like, don't even think before I talk. That's Alex, so that's me. But
we have a saying for that: putting your foot in your mouth.
Definitely. But also that she's occasionally has those moments where I can feel like, okay, now she's actually scared and she feels like, no, we shouldn't do this, but she's smart. And I go like, yeah, that can be me. Like I go like, nah, let's do this. And go like, no, bad idea. That's a very bad idea. When I think it's a bad idea, it's a very bad idea. So yeah, now I thought I was going to say Linda, but now as I'm thinking about it, I'm gonna say Alex. And also her backstory and how rough it is with her family as she lives in the stables with, and Herman lets her just be there. You get.
I thought that hit very hard, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's necessarily something we might have got in another situation other than a book.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. It's so I really like Alex and how she's always that. There are a group of friends that are very close, but she's that friend that is like, when they come to her, she's gonna be there. Like she's like, just give me 5 minutes and I'll be there.
Yeah.
And so that's why I really love Alex. Maybe I should put a sticker of her somewhere. Cece, which Soul Rider?
Yeah. All the Soul Riders was described really well, and I love that they got so much more personality and just more like drive and reason to why and how they are. But for me, personally, I think Anne was my favorite. Because from the original Starshine games, I did not like her that much at all, really. Because I just did not understand her. And for me, I couldn't relate to her. But in these Soul Rider books, you really get to know her. And you get to know what other people think of her. Like she has that... She's so misunderstood that people have this conception about her without, actually trying to find out if that conception is right or not. So they just, she's this rich snobby girl, you can't talk to her because she's above you, she thinks she's above you. But that's not true. She is just misunderstood. She's very shy and awkward, and she's just scared of what other people think of her. So I just felt really connected to her, and the way she was written, I could connect to her really well. And a lot of her situations and things that happened to her has happened to me as well growing up. So, she was really, she actually got a personality in a way, I think. Because in the Starshine Legacy, she was just this rich, snobby girl, and she only cared about looking good and pretty, being
and the horse.
I'm going to be a model, and my Concorde will be going to be the prettiest, and
Yeah, very stereotypical.
Yeah, like stereotypical rich, popular girl. It's just...
Yeah, it didn't work. No.
Yeah. I really like her. She's my favorite.
It makes her
now.
more real.
Yeah, she's more
Yes.
real. Lisa was my favorite from the Stars and Legacy games because I think she was so brave and cool, and I just felt more connected with her. But now I'm like, sorry, Lisa, Anne is my new favorite.
Of course, I like Lisa as well, but it's just no. And of course, she's going through the thing with her mother, and her dad is awesome. I like her dad.
Yeah.
And her story, like it's very interesting, but I don't know why she and I just do not click. But I like Linda. Linda doesn't need a reason. I like Linda. So yeah, okay. Reading about the locations and certain events they are in and do when in game, have you looked at the same location differently? In this case, we are talking about Jarlaheim, Jorvik Stables, Stone Circle, and event as in the Light Ride. TC.
Jarlaheim now, I am waiting to see whenever it eventually gets an update to kind of fit with all this, what it's going to look like.
Yeah.
That's what I'm kind of intrigued about. I'm like, where's Linda's house? And then, like, Jorvik Stables, I'm sort of going, well, where exactly is Alex actually staying here?
Yeah.
I didn't think that much about Stone Circle.
No.
Maybe that's in the later chapters, maybe that's why. And then, the Light Ride. This is going to be such a bizarre thing to say.
Oh?
But when I was reading the thing about the Light Ride, and they mentioned the light reflecting off the plastic cups, I was like, no, not plastic cups.
No? Oh. Were you... What? Was it because of a plastic?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was such a bizarre thing as I was reading the book. I was
You
like,
did
I'm
that
such a weird human.
You can't have plastic in nature. Don't do that.
I was like, you can't have plastic in Jorvik. We will not allow this.
Okay.
Yeah. That was something that stuck in my mind, as silly as that sounds. So yeah.
No, the plastic cups does not work.
Yeah.
Okay. I have to say, as I did mention, as soon as I was done with this first book, I logged in and just rode around in Jarlaheim, and just was thinking about them, especially at Jorvik Stables, like seeing them maybe standing there, Alex living there. But I'm really hoping that when they update that place, that we can maybe see that Alex does live there, like in some way, either she stands there or she is. Or we can just maybe see her sort of room, or somehow, just something, some sign of that she actually lives there. And of course, just the city in general needs an update, and the Jorvik Stables needs an update.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
The Stone Circle, like when I read in the book, I thought about our Stone Circle, but now that I think about it, these places need updated.
Yeah.
They need updation. Is that a word? Updation. I made up a new word.
Cute.
That's what I do. The Light Ride. I didn't think. No, that's it. When we read about the Light Ride, it had not been in the game then. It came later. So doing the Light Ride was actually bigger for us in Sweden if we read the book. So and you have done it. Interesting. So for me, it was like, oh my god, we're doing the Light Ride. I want to do the Light Ride.
So cool.
So it was very interesting. Okay, and CC?
Yeah, definitely so many places needs updation. I kind of like it.
Updation. They need
updation. Hashtag updation. Cute. But yeah, definitely a lot of places is described in way more exciting ways than it is currently portrayed in the game. Like, for example, Jarlaheim.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's kind of weird that Linda's room is so big, but her house is so small.
Just that room.
And so, yeah, it's kind of like that sword in the stone with Merlin's bag situation. Kind of like he's pulling out everything out of the bag. Poor Meteor, he's just parked outside like some bicycle. It's like, no!
There's no kitchen, no bathroom, no bedroom.
That is one thing. Yeah. So a bit more realistic would be nice. And Jorvik Stables it's such a huge part of
everything.
Yeah, of everything. Like everything kind of so in a sort of a way starts there. So the Jorvik Stables in game now, I like it a lot. It's been my home stable for years, but I feel like it doesn't really represent Jorvik Stables like completely, because for example in the book it is described like this. It's quite a big stable, and like with Alex, she lives there in the houses that is meant for like the personnel and the riding camp students and stuff.
Yeah.
And also there's supposed to be a riding arena there.
Yeah, that's the one down there.
There was an indoor was mentioned.
Oh,
the only indoor we have is that building. You can't go in.
Yeah, and that's really frustrated me. I've never liked that building. It's like, why are you here? Yeah, and also like the soul horses. They are supposed to live in the Jorvik Stables, but they're not there. Like the stables in Jorvik Stables are just like any other stable. But I would wish that it was like much bigger. And going back to the Starshine Legacy games, Jorvik Stables there was a stable you can go into, like it was a building. But in Starship Online, it's just like the other stables where it's kind of like an open area. Which I kind of like. I don't want that in Jorvik Stables because Jorvik Stables is special. So I want that to be like the one stable that is more unique in a way. So that you can actually see Meteor, Tin Can, Concord, and Starshine actually live there.
But Starshine lives at the Starshine Ranch now. But the other thing can be there.
Yeah, the other ones can move in there, but yeah.
It needs to be updated. Updation.
Yeah.
Updation time.
Yeah, it really does. And Stone Circle too, because it's kind of like this far off place.
You never go there unless you have to.
Yeah, you never go there unless you have to, and also it's kind of like, why is it only a teleportation thing? I kind of like that in the Starshine Legacy game you actually ride there, so it's kind of like a bigger area that you actually have to...
Wait. I think it's because it is stated somewhere in an area that is not open, so I'm hoping when maybe I think it is north.
It's like a way where we don't have that part of the map yet.
Yeah. So maybe hopefully in the future that we will be able to ride up there when.
Yes, I would love that. That would be so cool.
That would be very cool.
Yes.
Did you have a favorite scene in the book? Why was it your favorite, TC?
This is going to sound really bizarre, but it was a bit like kind of where the kidnap happened. Of Starshine, and then they all find themselves all together, and they're kind of like, why are we all here? I don't know, I just felt like that was the moment they finally had really come together. So I felt like that was kind of a very pivotal moment. I think that was why it was probably one of my favorite bits is, Starshine was missing, but it was like that moment where they had all met together and some of them didn't know why they were there. It just it felt like that was the moment where it all kind of started in a way. So I quite like that scene.
I have to say it is. I hope it is in this book. As I said, I haven't read it for a while, and I read all three. But it's a scene where they are sort of outside their school, and I think it is Sabine that there's like this whole dark moment where they see like she has black eyes.
Yeah, I really like that bit as well.
Okay, so it is in this book. That's good. Love this scene because this is the part when I knew the horror that Helena can write. I'm not saying that it is like a true horror story, but it gives you chills.
Yeah, because you get that real sense of Sabine as a predator, like
yes,
she's looking for someone watching her. You know, because that would have been my second pick, I think. It was a tie between those two scenes, but I think that moment really shows the true terror of the Dark Riders there.
Yes, and also the terror, but for me it was just basically really knowing that this book it's not gonna hold back. And I love it. And I can tell you in the future it's not gonna hold back. You're just getting a taste of it. So I that's why it's my favorite scene, because I am also a fan of horror, so I was very happy about that. Cici, what's your favorite scene?
I actually I agree. That was also a hard pick, because the Dark Riders, I don't know if it's just me, but it felt like they weren't really described that well. We don't know that much about them. It's kind of like they're evil, but so so it was really interesting to see that they explain more in this book. So that was also a close second pick for me, but I did pick at the moment of the light ride, when they are preparing for it, and Herman asks Anne who she's gonna ride with, and she's like, I'm just gonna ride on my own. But it's like, oh my god, Anne! But Linda and Alex and Lisa just looked at each other and just like, you're gonna ride with us, come on! Like, immediately invites her. And that was really a powerful moment. Like, that was really kind of like the moment for me when they really come together for the first time. And it just means so much to just be invited, to be included.
Of course.
So that was really...
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah, that was a beautiful moment.
Yeah.
Because, like, that is the moment where they, like, really invite her.
Yeah.
And she wasn't really a part before.
Yeah, she wasn't really a part of it before, and then you have that later scene where they all kind of suddenly are just together.
Yeah.
They're just kind of like, I don't know why I'm here, but I just kind of wandered here, you know? So it feels like that connection sort of... That thing from before is kind of solidified, that connection, so
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, the last question. The following books in the trilogy will be released in various languages soon, more than we already have. Plus, we cannot forget the book with 4 novels that gives a deeper insight to the Soul Riders characters and background. Also, we get a little more information regarding another character from the games. So I think it's Thomas. What was his name? Galbert Thompson?
Yeah, Galbert Thompson.
Yeah. He was mentioned too.
Yes, he was mentioned. But what would you love for Helena to write a book about regarding some stuff about whatever it could be from Jorvik, basically?
Dark Riders. I'd love really in-depth stuff on them. Yes, I feel like that would be cool.
More,
you know, Cam, for example, Sabine's horse. He's just like really in the thing. His introduction in the book, he's made to be like a terrifying monster. So I want to know why he's a terrifying monster.
Yeah, and wasn't he like covered with scars, and he's just big and
So I want to know, why has he got those scars? How did he get them? Like, why is he so terrifying? What's his deal? So,
Yeah, cool. Okay. And Cici?
I would love if Helena wrote like a Jorvik history book. Like an actual physical Jorvik history book you can hold in your hands, and it's like the origin of Aideen, the first people in Jorvik, the Kelters, like the base of Jorvik. That would be amazing.
Nice.
So, also origin of the Dark Riders and why they are Dark Riders and what they are and what their motivation are and why do they want to be in Garnock. Like, that would be really good to get more of a relationship with the Dark Riders as well.
That's cool. I'm sitting here going like, what do I want? Because you said all the stuff. What was I thinking? Maya, Would be really interesting to read more about and give her more of a story.
I have a really weird one.
Oh?
Evergrey. Can you imagine the stories?
Oh my god, that would be hilarious. He's such a goof.
Yeah. But also to have his what happened in Pandoria with him.
Yeah, his like field research book or what is it called? Like his diary when he's there.
Yeah, definitely.
Didn't we get like a small lore book about him?
We do.
In Starstable? Like a little snippet about like a Pandoric Ray.
Yeah, we do get a bit of them.
Really funny.
Yeah. And we also get some parts from Rhiannon. But yeah, about Maya, because they were like a serious strip magazine that was more in depth regarding Maya and Alex, how they sort of met. But I still would like more stories, mostly focusing on Maya, but where Alex is a part of it, and just more on their relationship. I don't know why, but I'm really interested in that. Also, Rania could have her story.
Oh, yeah.
A little novella about that.
Yeah, she's really cool. Oh, Herman! The life of Herman. Yes.
Herman, when he was young and he discovered the druids and everything. There's so many novels we can have.
Oh, Elizabeth.
We already have it.
I know, but more. I love her.
More. Okay. Maybe Trip. Maybe Avalon could have a book.
Yeah. Oh, Avalon. He's a mystery.
I want to see his face. When will the day come when we
will face reveal happen?
Yes. Face reveal Avalon. We need that. Okay. Are we feeling done with discussion of your recalling?
I think so. If everybody else,
I think we are going to.
Yeah.
Now, as we are talking about, I think we are going to get back to this once the second book is out. Maybe the third. I'm not sure how we're gonna put it up, but we are definitely going to talk about the other books in some way or form in the future when they are out in English, so TC can be up to speed.
Yes.
That is important. Okay, then we are done with the topic because, done and done. We do want to end this by saying, go and get that book.
Yes, it is beautiful.
You will not regret it. You do not need to contemplate. You do not need to consider. Just go and get it.
It's awesome.
It's awesome. It's an amazing book, and it does give so much to the game by reading this book.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes. Okay, let's continue with favorite and least favorite update of both May and June. Are you both ready?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, let's start with Cece and May.
So I'm gonna start with my least favorite for May.
Okay.
And for me personally, it was the part of the Connemara package. Because I don't know why, but Connemara's are just, I think they're cute, but just not for me.
They're old news.
What? Oh, sorry?
What
did you say? Oh, yeah. Also, at the time, I was so far behind with the Catherine's Diary, so that part wasn't like actual for me at the time. Also, I was surprised over that update. There was also in that same update the Western outfits.
The colorful.
The colorful.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I wasn't that big a fan of the purple, and I was like, who am I? Yeah. The green set was my favorite in that, because I really like that pastel green hat. It was like, I love that hat. So I don't know, that purple was hard to match with the clothes I own. So
I totally agree. Because actually, that's my least favorite as well. Is those clothes?
It's a hard match. But the green one, so pretty.
Yeah, it was my least favorite as well. But that's in general. I don't do colorful clothing. But what made me sad was they gave us new kinds of hats, and they were in colors that I did not want. Because the hats were cool.
Yeah, they're really cool. Like
I want them in black, brown, beige, and gray.
Yeah.
So boring.
And for my favorite of May, I actually my birthday this year was on a Wednesday, like May 13. 13. Dang it, that's so hard to say. And that day was one batch of the quarter horses. and I got the one I really wanted, and that was the beautiful Grollo.
Oh yeah.
And I got it on my birthday, and it was so special. And I named her Party Girl because I got it on my birthday party. So yeah, that was a good day.
Aww.
Yeah.
I have to say that my favorite was the new tack with the new boots. The new boots. Oh my goodness! Now I just want them all in. Can we just get one that is all black, though?
Yeah.
I like them so much, but they are, for some weird reason, so hard to match with other stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I try. I have managed sometimes, but they shouldn't be that hard. Especially when there's a few of them. But otherwise, they are definitely my favorite, the new boots. Because I've been lost for so long. TC, what was your favorite?
I don't really have a favorite for me. But I'm gonna pick something that technically was April, but it was April 30th, so I feel like I can get away with it.
Okay.
Because there was nothing really that I was mad keen on in May, but the Blue Roan quarter horse that came out on the app on the 30th. I love it. So
it's beautiful.
I'm gonna pick that because that was my favorite. I agree with you about the new tack items.
Yeah.
The colours were just, I can't match them with anything. And my least favourite, as I said, is the same thing as Cece. The hats, the greens are quite nice actually.
Yeah.
But they don't look right with my hair. My hair is hard to match, okay?
Oh,
the purple, the green on green didn't really work because it was the wrong kind of green.
Yeah.
The purple doesn't match anything else.
Yeah, it's hard.
It's this weird purple that's like doesn't really go with anything else that I had, so I was like, no. And then the red, I'm sorry, I hated the red. I very, very rarely say that, but I did not like the red stuff at all. But if that stuff, the tack items themselves, if they had been in black,
all black,
or brown, or
chocolate
just
brown.
Chocolate brown, yes, all of those nice colours, they would have been lovely, because the items themselves are lovely. I just didn't like the colour palette.
If they could make those to match the new show jumping tack.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
Yes, that would be what. Okay, moving on to June. Cece, what was your least favorite of June?
For me, it was the Midsummer, because didn't felt that much new. Like I had done that before, and also it was really buggy for me. Like the flying eyes everywhere, like all the players. I couldn't see them. It was just floating eyes and floating heads, and it was creeping me out. Yeah, and it was so buggy. Like as soon as you landed with the transport in Moreland, it was like it was so slow. So yeah.
Maybe time to update computer soon.
Yeah, I think so.
TC, what was your least favorite?
I completely agree with Cece again. Midsummer. I think we said this exactly the same last year. Midsummer.
Yeah.
With it. I didn't check to see if they've updated the dates this year. I don't know if it said 2020 rather than just last year. It said 2018, and I was like, that's wrong.
I didn't even notice.
Yeah, no, last year the dates were wrong, and I don't know if they were this year. I know a lot of people go around and talk to a lot of the NPCs. Actually, I have a bone to pick with this as well.
Oh, no.
Mr. Campbell wasn't there this year.
Oh, no, he wasn't invited.
He wasn't invited, and I was not impressed. He wasn't there with his flower crown. I didn't get to take a picture with him.
Oh,
Mrs. Draco wasn't there either, right?
I don't think she was.
Wasn't she invited last year?
Yeah.
There were new people there. Like, that's that.
Because last year, didn't she say, like, oh, I used to ride when I was little, and everyone was, like, shook, like, oh, she liked horses? What?
Oh, my goodness. Yeah.
So, yeah. I saw he wasn't there, and I was like, I'm just going to do this for the XP, and I'm going to leave. Never come back, I didn't even bother collecting flower crowns. I was like, I don't care. I'm going for this.
Oh, my God.
I'm going to talk about my favorite, but I just want to pass and mention the seahorses were really pretty, but disappointed that they don't swim.
Yeah.
Because that feels like the whole thing. They should be able to swim, in my opinion.
Okay.
I think the crafting deserves a mention.
Wait, we're on least favorite.
Are we only talking about least favorite right now? Okay, and then I'll wait and I'll talk about my favorite.
Stay chill. I'm going on to my least favorite, and that was Campus and Helena.
Oh, okay.
Well, of course, the Midsummer as well, but I just felt like, well, that's gonna be sort of duh. So I wanted to say something else. No, but they're very beautiful magical horses, but I never ride the magical horses, so for me it was like, okay, yay, new magical horses. But they were very, very pretty, and they did come with panda rays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're cute.
I feel like they were too close to the thoroughbreds and too close to the quarters.
Yeah.
And I feel like that for me actually kind of made them flop a little bit. Like, because the quarters and the English thoroughbreds were so close together, and they are both, like, they are really up there. Even though those were the Alcatiki models, and I do think they're gorgeous looking, because they're between two really good horses, I don't think I've had this, not got busy, put it this way. If I don't feel like I have enough time in between to train them and spend time with them, I don't really bond with them, as silly as that sounds.
No, I get it. I'm the same.
So for me, they kind of, for that reason only, they kind of, I think it's nothing to do with the horses themselves, how they look or how they move. It's actually the timing in which they were released.
Yeah.
I just feel like they came too soon after the last set of Wilds. And between two very strong horses. Very close together. And I just feel like the timing was all wrong for them. I don't think they should have been there yet. But yeah.
I understand. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so favorite of June. And I'm gonna say it because this was amazing. And that was Farah's workshop. Yay! I'm loving this, that I can run around, pick flowers, and go and craft stuff, and I'm gonna get some clothes, and then I'm gonna get that owl, and and I can give and deliver. I can be like, I can craft stuff and give to other people, which is also fun. And I can do this while like listening to a podcast or watching series. It's just so cozy. It's so cozy. I can't deal. And I want more stuff to craft in the future. So I'm hoping there will be more things to craft in the future. Cici, what was your favorite?
It's the same. It's Fire Workshop. I mean, it's so amazing. And it's a function a lot of us been waiting for years, and it's finally here, and it's so cool. So yeah, just the crafting, it's so cool. And the rewards are so beautiful, like the clothes attack. Oh my god! And I love that sassy Toby owl.
They are by the crafting benches. You can see them hanging there.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you could click, and you know the way you can do it at the druid training.
No.
Okay.
Yeah,
I could actually see them on my character.
They're hanging there.
Yeah, it's so relaxing that you can just ride around, or like even when you're not intentionally seeking flowers, you can still find them whenever you're training your horses or doing some quests. So
can we just take a really moment that Layla had Layla on the podcast, and she was like, "Would you like a crafting system thingy in the game?" Sneaky little Layla was already working on it.
Oh, I like that.
She must have been, or it was very fast for her to make that happen.
Yeah.
But I think so anyway, that she must probably already have been starting to plan it, at least. So, I mean, very fun. But it was like...
I think we've definitely needed something like that, because as you said, just the ability to be able to pick things up as you're going about doing other things.
Yeah. Or just...
Yeah.
You don't even have to get off your horse. I think that's the best part about it. Is you can just collect as you go, because I think the problem with like the Dino Valley, like archaeology and things, you have to get down, and then you get back on, and then you run into a couple of trees, and you get your temper goes, and you're like, I don't want to do this anymore. And then
I'm not sure if this goes for everyone or just too safe.
It might just be me. I get a bit agitated when I get stuck in the swamp when I'm hunting for things. Or going into areas with a non-cold tolerant horse, which I have a habit to do it. So, I think I'll... What are you going to say, Cici?
No, I was just gonna... It's so much fun that you can just pick up flowers, like you can just run at a full speed gallop, then you can just like grab it and just keep on riding.
Yeah, like
it's actually really hilarious.
okay.
Yeah. Because I feel like it's a way that we can grind XP for her without
that's
actually having to get off our horse.
Mm,
Which is nice.
Nice. And what was your? Is this your favorite CC2, or do you have something else?
I have something else. I did want to say that this is like, other than the Midsummer. Okay, because Midsummer, no, we're not even acknowledging that in the June thing. But the other stuff, right? There's been a couple of good things, and I wanted to mention that because I feel like it really does deserve the credit, because I can see that a huge amount of work went into it. But I'm going to say the Thoroughbred.
Of course.
Oh yeah.
I'm so glad that you did like it, because you were so like you wanted them to be updated, but you were scared.
I was. I think they've done a really great job on them. I mean, like, when I look at them, I can see that little bit of the Andalusian in them, in the sense that the type isn't, I don't mean the type, but when you look, stand them up and you stand them behind and look at them from behind, they have that slant that the Andalusians have. So I don't know whether they were slightly originally modelled off that, but that would be my assumption, because when I stand them against the Trakehner, they're two completely, because a lot of people are like, oh, it looks like the Trakehner, and I do not see that. But whenever I look at the two models, I see that slight slant that the Andalusian has whenever it's resting, and the Thoroughbred has it too. And there is that issue that the Andalusians have when you jump them. I call it the flying squirrel problem, where they look all square underneath and wide when they jump.
Oh.
The English Thoroughbred has it slightly, but
it's
not
still
severe.
It's good. It's a good job, though.
So basically, like, I really like that they changed the trot, because the trot before was far too high stepping. So I'm glad
I
they did
really
that.
like that trot. I wanted that.
I didn't. I was like, it's too much like a Frisian or something. It's too much knee action, and you want a Thoroughbred to be moving. You don't want all of that upward motion. You want forward motion. So for me, I'm glad that got a rework. I wanted it to have energy, because they are a hot-blooded horse. Like, they are, quite. They can get, like, they can jump about and stuff. So I like the counter, because the counter reminds me of the Hanoverian.
Yeah.
And then
beautiful.
The slow gallop is quite nice. I like the way it looks. And then the fast gallop, like, doesn't look like anything else we've got. There's no other horse in the game, in my mind, that I can think that looks like that does. The ears go back. You can tell they're going for it. They really, really stretch. So I was, like, thoroughly happy with them.
Thoroughly.
Thoroughly happy with them. And then the profile of their head is just stunning. I absolutely...
So cute.
And then to top it all off, they gave me a bay horse, which I absolutely love.
Yeah, me
which
too.
is saying something, because you know what I'm like with black horses.
Yeah.
They release a black horse, and I'm like, bought. You know? Yeah, whereas, like, whenever I went to see and I saw that bay horse, I was like, no. The black and the double dilute, they're really nice, though, I have to say, the two of them. Like, I actually didn't realise how much detail was on the double dilute until after, and I saw one of my friends riding one. But that bay horse's face is just in another league.
Handsome.
It's super, super, super handsome, and also extremely pretty, so yeah. I am very happy, as you can tell.
Yes. I'm so happy that you're happy. Okay, so that was our favorite and least favorite of both May and June. It was quite interesting 2 months, actually, with what we got. And then we're moving on to our monthly wish of what you would like to have in the games. And since we have no guest here, it's only one each. Or should we have two, because we missed a month?
I have one.
I have two.
Fine.
Cece can have two.
Yes, plus question. So, and Cece, what do you have two? Which are these?
The first one is with Farah's workshop. And I would love to see a continuation that we would be able to make our own furniture for our home stable. So, for example, I would love to, like, our home stable as it is today. It's lovely, but for me personally, it's a stable for me. It's not a home stable, because I haven't put my print on it, or how to say. So I would really love if we can make our own, like, curtains, carpets, pillows, tapestries, towels, shelves, paintings, decorations, like all of that.
Colored stable?
Yeah, color, like maybe like the type of wood for the boxes and the floor and the walls, and you know, just be able to customize it would be awesome.
That would be fun. I like that idea.
Also, that would be much more fun for when you have that function to invite people to your stable. That would be like a more fun experience because, oh, your stable doesn't look like mine. Oh, that's cool. Exactly. You know? Yeah.
Okay, and your second wish?
My second is, like I mentioned earlier, I would like to see a complete revamp of the Jorvik stables.
Yeah.
So it feels more
like the book.
More like this historical, really important piece of like buildings. Like it used to be like a hovstall, like a royal court stable. Is that like a royal stable? Yeah. Like this really historical building. I don't really get that feeling in game at the moment. Yeah. So I would like to see, and I would actually like to see a riding arena there. That would be so cool.
Yeah, inside, like a riding, like the one we have down in the vineyard.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, it doesn't have to be as big. Just
no, it's a tiny little one.
Oh, yeah, you know, kind of like for the private. Kind of like big enough for like 2 or 3 people at the same time, maybe.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, that would be cool.
I have to say that my monthly wish is a new map. There needs to be a new map in the game, and there needs to be easier way to see coordinates because now they are not visible at all. Especially if you go up to Dino Valley, you can just guess.
Yeah.
Whatever it says. So it needs a little update, I think.
Yeah, that would be cool.
And also have a possibility to be able to like zoom in to like areas and see roads more clearly, like it is in World of Warcraft. That would be nice.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
So that's my wish. TC.
Well, considering I went off on like a mad rant about all of the updates, I'm going to keep this short and brief.
Okay.
I just don't want Midsummer next year. Give me something else.
Yay! Interesting. Well, then
I want something different. Like, I don't mind if that's in there, but give a purpose outside of just building, because it's kind of fallen flat.
Yeah. It is a Swedish tradition. Maybe it would be more fun if they made their own sort of summer celebration.
If they have, or maybe kind of like the NPCs that are from different countries, like
brought their own take to it.
Yeah, like I always forget her name. The
Luciana.
Yeah, Luciana.
The one with Portuguese.
Yeah, I mean maybe her take on it, or like an American. Like that would be cool.
We don't do anything here, so there would be nothing to do.
Okay. Well, just some kind of summer celebration would be fun, but maybe because Midsummer is a Swedish thing, and it's like kind of weird that we're making the whole world celebrate Midsummer.
Well, it's not. It's just that it's not that I have a problem with Midsummer. It's more a case of like we've had the same event every year, and there's nothing new to do. That's why I'm kind of like I'm bored now.
Yeah, and also the Midsummer we have that we've had now for these past years. That Midsummer, before that Midsummer, the old Midsummer was the same for for more years. So that's maybe why the Midsummer, the second version of Midsummer, it's just like maybe it's a bit more extra. And also, I am a Swede, but I don't really celebrate Midsummer. I think it's a bit boring.
Not in that way. This year I did make a very traditional Midsummer celebration, but that's because the past years I left Sweden when it was Midsummer.
Yeah. So Midsummer isn't like that exciting.
I feel like because it's Jorvik, I think that the Midsummer should be a celebration of doing like different competitions with horses. I think like they should have something like that, like different races that will run throughout Midsummer and you get extra XP, because then you could make it like a really, you know, this week there's going to be this race and next week we're going to have this race and you're going to get like 500 XP, for the race, something like that, and maybe like kind of like what they used to do with the Valentine's Day races, where you could also then do it with your friends and earn an outfit or something like that. Have a couple of levels to it, so you can do it on your own, but you can also do it with friends and get extra things, I think would be something to do.
Or maybe you know the Halloween events with the pumpkins that run away. Yeah. Maybe have that, but with running away flowers.
Something. Yeah.
You need to chase and catch the flowers to make your crown or something like that. That would be silly and really fun.
I mean, I wouldn't want it too much because we could fall in that trap of getting the same kind of mechanic over and over again. But I get what you mean. I want something.
Yeah.
Something that helps train horses.
That is always a bonus.
Yeah.
Yes, maybe like sort of because they don't know how much we do it today, but in Midsummer there can be like small competitions when you are gathering as a family. You eat dinner, then you do some game races. Like they put up barrels, and you have to ride and throw stuff into them in a way. That sort of mechanic, like some kind of just silly small races that sort of has a some vibe to it. Would be nice.
Yeah, something like that. I just think because I think right now it's just really flat.
Yeah.
You dance, and then you eat some more.
I didn't even. I think I went over, danced about 3 seconds, and clicked off, and then left.
I didn't even dance. I brought it all up and go like, "Here's your Midsummer." Now I'm gone.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, that was that. We're done with this episode. Yeah. I almost forgot that we were recording. Just because we got
Yeah.
But we need to end this episode, of course. It might have been a little shorter than we used to, but that's just kind of how it is. It's nice to have, maybe not to have as long of an episode as we usually do. But it was very much fun to talk about the books, and as I said, we are going to revisit this once the other books are out in English, at least. The second and third book. Maybe even wait till the third book is out, have them read, and so we can discuss the entire story of it. The trilogy would be so much fun because it's so exciting. So yeah, we want go and buy the books. You will not regret it. And until next time, people, stay awesome as always. And we will see you in July. Bye-bye.
Bye.